I'm WG and the Typhara patch is here. With the Typhara patch actually came quite a lot of changes that could even fly under the radar for you. So we'll talk about everything that changed with the season, with the Typhara patch and how you can best take advantage of it. Let's get the quick stuff, let's get the easy events out of the way. Now, every time you beat a chaos run that is difficulty 8 or higher, I believe, or maybe even any chaos run, honestly, you will be able to collect 3 summons every week for the next 4 weeks right here. So make sure you take advantage of that, should be easy and simple to find. On the other hand, we also have again like the Race Gift login event. Here you have the Spites Shadow, also with the limited sticker Typhara Pass and Typhara Fail. So make sure you do that before it runs out. Overall, this will take 3 days to fully unlock. Virtual Tactician is the trial. You can try it out, you can get some resources, but it's not that important, but it at least helps understand how Typhara works to a degree. Then also we have the Overdrive Simulation. Overdrive Simulation is our first 2x for gear drops, and 2x for gear drops, it only costs 120 stamina or 2 runs at 60 each, turning 120 into 240 stamina. The best dungeons to farm currently are the Beast Yearning set if you want to buff 9, or the Glorious Rain set specifically for Cassius, Typhara and Orlea. Those are the main beneficiaries, I'd say. Then again, you can also put shrooms or the mushrooms, the contaminated spores on other characters to then also allow them to exhaust skill cards, because you only need to exhaust 3. So if you, for example, create 1 shroom, you need to, or if you create 2, you wait 1 turn, you can use them all and you get the 15% bonus. So Glorious Rain is probably the big one I would recommend the most, at least in terms of relevance right now. But otherwise, what you should farm instead is definitely the Passion / Crit dungeon. Not only is crit damage the best set in the entire game, basically, you really don't want to play a character without it. It also fits on every single character that has anything to do with damage, because regardless of if you run them with 2-piece or 4-piece, the crit damage set always fits. So farming the crit damage set is never a waste. Whereas then on the other hand, the Spark of Passion set recently, like a few weeks back, got a upgrade where now, or I think with the launch of the season, where when an upgrade card is used, you increase the damage amount of passion cards by 20%. This holds for the entire duration of the fight. So this can now absolutely and might even, should be used as your most optimal set for Selena's, Malin's, Veronica's, and I guess even Lucas's as well. You know what? Maybe even a Maribel on top. Yeah, Maribel can actually also use this. So pretty much one of the biggest drop dungeons. Then on the other hand, the Void set is still doing what the Void set is doing. But the attack set still decent enough as a 2-piece. Other notable ones could be still the Judgment Flame set, which is mainly Naja, Khalib, Serenial, and then the Orb of Inhibition, which is mainly Rin and Shizuru. So these are like 3 top tier dungeons that all basically just drop good sets, and then the other ones you'd kind of like have to split your attention. Like here you'd get the Bullet of Order, but you don't really want the really need the Agony 2-piece, and then here in these other sets. So that's mainly these events out of the way. So now actually for the stuff that changed with the season. The biggest and the most obvious change is going to be in the Zero system. You now have another tab. This tab is called Environment Variables. Environment Variables is another further skill tree. This skill tree allows you to do a multitude of things, starting with unlocking the hidden boss. So for you to get this, you have to play the Chaos runs to get this new currency right here called the Memories of Light. And then every time you beat a run, you get more and more of that currency, allowing you to unlock more nodes. Overall, what you get, and what you should also for the most part early on move towards, is get this hidden boss, the Gatekeeper's Trial. We'll talk a bit about it after we discuss this, and we'll talk about what this guy actually does, how he looks and how he works. And then obviously the next one is where you want to go to the dice rolls. So this allows you to get a +2 on any dice rolls, meaning the lowest technical number you could roll would now be a 1. turning into a 3. So it just helps you with succeeding in dice rolls, kind of saving your time capsules for when you actually need them, your sands of time. Then your way should be absolutely made up and over to the reset value recalculation, which allows you to refresh equipment refinement. So it's going to give you 3 options, but this allows you to refresh it up to twice. And yeah, that's going to massively help getting these refinement points. We'll also briefly talk about the new refinements they've added, because there's quite a bit of impactful ones here. On the other hand, in the middle, every time you move, you get more season currency. This is the Radiant Life, so you just get more season currency percentage-wise. And these last upgrades here are Germination, Mirage, and Distortion, which is just the ability to get more seasonal fates. We don't really know what most of them do. I know that we don't really know what Germination, Mirage, and Distortion do, so that's something you then unlock. And then here, this one, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not too sure. And that is because this one increases the chance of the seasonal fate appearing in Burning Life. And if you have the seasonal fate, for example, appear at a higher chance, that stands to reason that the fates like the monster fate and the rare event fate, those are like the most desirable ones by far, might have a lesser chance of appearing. But then here's also one that is incredibly big for like just completing chaos, and that is you gain 1 evasion when you've done damage, shield, and healing in a singular turn, and this is per combatant 1 time. So yeah, this can help you survive chaos, but overall the bigger ones are definitely these 3, or specifically these 2 right here. Alright, at this point, spoiler warning, if you want to first go in and experience this for yourself, feel free to skip this hidden boss section. Could also be advised, because it is quite epic. I've warned you, so let's talk about this and how this works. So, to unlock the hidden boss, you need to go into the first arena in the exterior while having the first node of the skill tree activated, and then once you make your way to the second arena in the interior, you will meet this reptilian guy right here. Hey! So, this reptilian guy right here, no, besides the A, this reptilian guy has always between 17 to 18,000 health, might be high on difficulty 8, haven't tested, haven't seen anything, but on difficulty 8 he'll have always around like 17 to 18,000 health. The important part with this is this guy does not attack you, but what he does do is end your arena opportunity should you be unable to kill him or deal a significant amount of damage to him within 4 turns. So he puts you on a clock. You'll have 4 turns of uninterrupted, unattacked turns, right? Unattacked actions, but you have to deal damage to him that then allows you for him to like show you that you're worthy, for him to allow you to pass. See, the fun part here is also, if your damage isn't enough to deal 17,000 damage to him in 4 turns, it could be that the hidden boss would kill you regardless, so it actually makes sense that he sends you away, because it's better to be sent away and miss out on the arena than it is to die, right? Now, what do I mean with miss out on the arena? If you do not deal the damage to him, you completely miss the arena, so you won't get the extra fights, you won't get the refinement, which means that if you're not confident enough to deal the damage, you should rather just go into the arena normally, do your 2 fights, get your bit of gear, and then get your refinement and then bounce out. So that is Mr. Reptilian, which then follows us into this boss right here. So once you actually beat him, you then get Colossus. So Colossus, the monster's arms grant beneficial effects to each other when hit, and after taking a certain number of hits, the face immediately inflicts harmful effects or performs an attack action. So this entire thing is based on very disadvantageous to it is very disadvantageous to low low percentage damage, high attack count units, and that is also because these arms themselves will take less damage over time if you hit them for quite a while, and that is they get like a stacking damage reduction every single time you hit them. And then on the other hand as well, you can also then, you should definitely check out and make sure that you know what each hand is doing each turn, so you know which hand you need to focus on. So you've also heard that each hand boosts each other, so preferably you want to kill them at the same time if you have AoE lying around, but if not, then you're obviously fine as well, just killing one hand one turn and one hand the turn after. What this then gives us is, come on, let's see if we can do it. So once you break the hands, the boss now enters a state. This state is, you see this 5 stun symbol. This means that every time you hit him per hit, you reduce 1 stun, but you also reduce 1 stun per turn. So for example, if you're running a 9, you can hit him with 1 hue, skip the turn, hit him with another hue, skip the turn, and then for example hit him with like the potential final hue, though I think moving into turn 3 after getting hit twice, he would wake up. Your goal is just to kill him, and once you do, then you're going to get your drops. So overall, what kind of drops can you expect here? It seems to be, as of this moment, to always be the same piece of equipment, and that is the so-called Bangle of Valor. The Bangle of Valor increases the damage amount of all arena cards team-wide by 20% and also creates the Forgotten Sword. So the Bangle of Valor creating the Forgotten Sword makes this card right here. When all types of arena cards are created, swap this card into Judgment. So the arena cards available are, for example, something like this. The Charge Strike here. After, when a turn is ended with 1 or more AP, create a Charge Strike. You then also have the Shield Blast. You have the Hammer. So you have the Charge Strike, you have the Hammer, you have the Shield Blast, and then you have this Piercing attack, as well as also, I think that's, and then also the Fist, right? Those should be the main ones. 5 in total, I believe. 1 chess piece, 2 rings, 2 weapons. And this one obviously itself would be a chess piece. And then once every one of these cards is created, this Forgotten Sword swaps into Judgment. Judgment itself is a card that deals 1000% damage at base value before any multipliers, and also does Tenacity 10. So whatever this attacks, it is pretty much going to break. Now, the big question of, is this worth the effort and the like, I honestly can't tell you, but if you want to play around with it, the best option seems to be to have 2 characters that each carry the Bangle of Valor, while then splitting, or preferably getting, the arena equipment on these characters. So an arena weapon, arena ring with the chess piece, arena weapon, arena ring with the chess piece, and then offload the last chess piece, the Shield Blast chess piece, onto the final character. So that's it, at least that. But then also, if you beat the boss, you get an arena gear drop, as well as also a arena refinement. Now, on the note of arena refinement, this is what changed. First off, we have some rather not as significant buffs, like for example how when a card is retained or exhausted, 1 time for each is now, instead of fixed damage, it's now 2 times per turn for each, so you can get up to 400% fixed damage here. While the turn ends while owning a shield, 100% fixed damage can also work on starting or ending while owning a shield for some more fixed damage to enemies. And then here on counter attack, instead of 100% fixed damage, you deal 200% defense based damage to all enemies, making this actually a really valuable counter refinement. But no, these are the big ones. So overall, these refinements are really what it's at. These refinements are even the reason why, if you want to build a divine deck, usually you cut all 3 basics, get 4 copies of the divines, and that's it. That's 180 points. Now, with these refinements on the table, it is actually better to keep in 1, maybe even 2 basics, and take the refinement rather than go out of your way to get them, deal with the refinements, right? And the reason for that is because these are pretty darn strong. So this one is plus 30%, so additive damage to 1 cost or lower attack cards, meaning it's really damn good for example, basic attack Shizuru, Serenial, Lucas, Renoa, basically anybody, right? Most of the characters kit most of the cast of characters will be able to use this. And now that you will at some point be able to get the ability to refine, reroll up to twice, you also stand a very realistic chance of getting your hand on these refinements. What we also have is a extra attack damage amount increase, so this is the chase on pretty much every ranger, specifically coming to mind Veronica and Beryl, as well as also Selena, and then I guess Hugo on top. So these are like the 4 prime candidates you would want to get this on these characters. And then the defense-based damage itself, just pretty much for any Vanguard, any defense-based, any defense-related character. Even, yeah, pretty much any defense-based character, preferably if they are DPS. But this one also looks unassuming, but is quite big, and this is a major buff to Yuki and Rin. Yuki and Rin getting a 50% multiplicative to damage when you draw your own attack card by an ability. Yuki has the ability to draw her own attack cards, and Rin also can very reliably, especially with her shield, draw 2 of her own cards, Epiphany, very reliably draw these, making this a, yeah, pretty much free damage buff that should not be underestimated. Then we also obviously have the unlocking of the second supply. Second supply again summons prism lenses, material dimensions, some crafting materials, some grove stones if you need them to upgrade your Typhara, or maybe even still your 9. But what is obviously the main chase, the main idea here is this Omega Code. This Omega Code will be able to be used for any 5-star combatants, past, present, future. And what I would recommend, or at least have you think about, is that you save yourself these ones either until you find your your favorite character ever, or something becomes game breaking. Then again, the devs will probably change it when it becomes game breaking and you need an dupe for it. But no, what this would really be useful for is saving this until a time when a character similar to Serenia releases, a character that can only be obtained from their banner. And then once their banner leaves, you won't be able to get any dupes, anything from that character again until some unstated time they might come back. So for example, yes, you could use these Omega codes on Serenia, but you can also keep them and hold them until, probably in the next 90 days. I would assume that within the next 90 days, we're going to see our next limited character. Potential dates are at the end of the season, right? So that's going to be after Rita. If you're curious who Rita is, that is Mrs. Fox lady right here. Then on the other hand, it could also be closer to the half-year anniversary, which is around 60 days. And and then it could also be summer, right? Just like a summer collaboration, summer skins, summer limited characters, something like that. So you could hold your Omega codes for those as well, just due to the scarcity of the availability of limited characters. Otherwise, use it for whatever you want, have fun, put it into your waifu, put it into your husbando. You'll be able to, figure out for yourself what you want to do with it. Alright, so what exactly is proto-synchronization? What can you do with it? Proto-synchronization can be found down in the bottom left right here. As a shortcut, you can also find it in your Epion Center, and what it does is it allows you to pick a character of your liking, and that character is instantly going to get promoted to a certain stage based on your account level. So overall, you see right here, if you're account level 40, they become 48, and then once you reach 50, they become 55. They also level up some of these talents as well. What you're getting is the full promotion, the full level up effects for a character of your choice, while also getting investments into their potential. So for example, the finest stage gives you maxed out crit chance, maxed out crit damage, the top right potential, the top left potential, and then for some weird reason 6 out of 10 on the basic, common and unique card upgrades, but still making them very, very powerful. And what you also gain is 5 additional levels, as well as the stat increase that you gain from leveling past level 50. So you can pick any character you want. What I would also recommend is for you to pick characters that you might have even already given save data to with the distortion feature. and you can change your combatant however you want. It doesn't cost any premium currency, but it does take 72 hours, and I would assume you're able to change the character, and yeah, you can use crystals to cut it down. Don't recommend it.